Do you want to perfect chicken breast? You want it nice and roasted, crispy skin, succulent and juicy on the inside? Stay around. I'm making my roasted chicken breast with pomme mousseline and pancetta and peas. So this is sort of a take on an apricot chicken, another childhood dish that my mum would make, my nan would make, and it's a childhood dish as well of my wife, Jess, who her mum used to make a lot of it and still does. It's still a favourite in their family. Now firstly, the chicken breast. Now there's a couple ways you can do this. You can either cut a whole bird and take the breasts off yourself. This is what I've done. Or you can get the butcher to do it for you, but you do want the skin on. Most chicken breasts these days come with the skin off, but we want the skin on this time. And very simply, season it on the skin side with a generous amount of salt. Now in a saucepan, I'm gonna put in some duck fat. Now the duck fat is gonna give us some real great flavor, and it's going to be able to take some of the heat that we're initially gonna give it as well. So melt that down in the pan and then place the chicken breast skin side down into the pan over a high heat. Give it about a minute and a half on the skin side and then turn it over, and you'll see this beautiful crispy chicken skin that is golden and gorgeous. And then what I do is I place a knob of butter into the pan, melt that down, and just baste the top of those skins and the rest of that chicken. We're then going to place it into an oven preheated to 180 degrees Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit, and we're going to put it in there for 25 to 30 minutes. So we've seared both sides. That skin is lovely and crisp. We've put some butter over it, so there's some really nice flavor there, especially with the duck fat. Straight into the oven, and we're gonna have some really moist chicken breasts. Now for the pomme mousseline, it's very, very simple. It's a nice fancy way of saying mashed potato, but this mashed potato is next level stuff. The butter and the cream in it is just so, so good. So very simply, boil the potatoes, and you wanna boil them for about 20 minutes or until they're soft. Drain and skin the potatoes, and when they're cool enough to handle, put them through a vegetable muley. And you want to beat in the butter and also the warm cream. Season with salt, and then what I do is I pass that potato mash after stirring it. It's still a little bit lumpy. It's not really where I want it. So what I do then is pass it through another fine sieve, just using a spatula, and then I just scrape the bottom of the sieve and I take off all that smooth mash, and what you'll end up with is this gorgeous, shiny, very smooth mashed potato, and that's what we're after, and it is so full of flavor, it's crazy. It's like the best mashed potato you can have. Now instead of using bacon, which you can of course use if you can't get hold of any pancetta, I'm using pancetta because I love the richness to it, the flavor, and I've just cut them into chunks. And then I'm just quickly frying them off in a non-stick pan with some garlic, some fresh thyme as well. Now those pancetta will just render down some of their fat a little bit, and you'll end up with these beautiful, almost foaming little battens, little cubes of pancetta. Just drain them on a paper towel and just leave them in a warm place because we're about to plate up and get ready. Now normally with an apricot chicken, you'd go and get some fresh apricots, or you'd go and, most people get apricot nectar, which is the juice. What I'm doing is a little bit different. I'm using homemade chicken stock, which I'll also leave a link to in the description, and I'm using some apricot jam. Now I want the sweetness from the jam, but I also want that nice flavor, that rich depth of flavor from the homemade chicken stock. And I put them together. So in a saucepan goes the chicken stock and also the apricot jam. And then I reduce it right down for about 20 minutes over medium to high heat. Keep stirring it, reduce it down until it's nice and thick and syrupy. I pass it through a sieve just in case there's any apricot pieces that are left over in the jam, because I don't want them. I want a nice smooth consistency. And then just place it to one side and we can get ready to plate up. So plating up is really, really simple. Place down your gorgeous mashed potato over a plate. And I will say, whenever you're plating up, always plate up on warm plates. Never plate up on a cold plate, because everything you've just done is going to go cold quickly, and you don't want that. So always just place the plates in an oven and just let them heat up gently. And it's always best to plate up on them, because then your food's going to stay warm. So place the potato down, slice the chicken breast, and you can see how juicy that chicken breast is. And again, I say this all the time, when that chicken breast comes out of the oven, leave it to rest for good 10 minutes, because you want all those juices to contract up. That is how you get a moist chicken breast. That's the secret, just by leaving it alone. Place it on top of the mashed potato, and then I'm just scattering around those pancetta pieces. I'm also scattering around some peas as well. I think they just go really well with it and give it a nice green color to the dish, makes it look nice and fresh. And then I'm spooning over that gorgeous apricot sauce that we've made. And finally, just finishing it off with some baby parsley over the top, just to give it that nice finish. And that's it. So easy, so simple. And the flavors here are so good. This is one of my wife's favorite dishes that I cook. And it's probably one of the reasons why I've been together with her for 16 years and married 9 years. So if you're after this recipe, and I think you will be, make sure you check it out in the description. The full recipe is on my website. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your family and friends, and I'll see you for another recipe very soon, and have a great day.